Hey guys, what's good? It's your boy Pookie here. Do you know what this is? If any of you have had any 3D printers, you know what this is. This is the Tronxy X5s. This is an absolute beast. But one of the things we've got to do is we've got to build this thing. If you remember anything about the A8, which is also a DIY 3D printer, that took, you know, a good few hours to build. This is bigger. I think this is going to take a bit longer, so I reckon I'm going to do a bit of a time lapse of this, and then we'll see what the test prints are like. So now we've got this Tronxy built, we can get some prints going and we can see what this printer will actually do. It did take a little bit of time getting together, but definitely worth it because the size of that print bed, it is huge. I like all the cable management on it, it's nice, neat and tidy, other than just a little bit down there that I still need to tidy up a little bit. So we'll see what this can do as far as printing is. If you do want one of these, I'll leave the links in the description down below so you can go and check that out. Definitely worth the money. The size of the prints are massive and you're not really going to get that scale of printing for the price that you're actually paying. This truly is a bargain, so don't forget to check that out, guys. So what are my thoughts on the Tronxy X5s? Now, I really think it's a good printer. It's a good printer because it's got quite a few things going for it. Number one being the print system and the pulley system, that it's such a quiet system, the actual pulley itself. The bed is massive. It's 340 by 340 by 400. Now they do another version. I think it's the CR, one of the CR10s that they do. They do one of them and it's 500 by 500 by 500. I think it is. Don't quote me to that, but that's nearly £1,000. This thing was like 200 quid. Now, yeah, it did take me a few hours to print it, to get a print going because it's a completely different kind of printer to what I'm used to. So it took me a little bit to actually get going. But when I did finally get it going, I got some nice prints out of it. I got a nice phone case. We'll have a look at the lines on that. The overall print on it was quite nice. The only defect I had slightly was that little bit of a wobble there. And it only happened for that first bit of a layer, but that was okay. Also printed off one half of my coffee grinder for grinding up my coffee beans in the morning, because you can't get out of bed with a good coffee. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a few things about this that I learned and a couple of the problems that I did come across with it. When I first started printing, it was printing out a bit backwards, and I wanted to know why it was doing that. I've looked further more into it, and the wiring, this absolute mess down here, it looks worse than what it actually is, but the wires were labelled wrong. So when you have actually finished building yours, one of these, and you do have it, make sure you cross the wire at the board from the X and Y and swap them over, then it'll be printing right. Another pain for me was getting this bed levelled with that screw just there. You see the limit switch there? You have to screw from the other side and just screw it up little bits at a time, and then once you get it in a rough area, you can then use the 6 springs that are on this to level the bed. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, but it is what it is. One of the nice things that I do like about this is it does come with a sheet. Now, it sounds like glass, but it's actually not glass. I think it's a kind of resin-based plate, and it has a little tiny bit of flex to it, and that's a really good thing, because if you've got a really big print and it's going to be really difficult to get off the bed, you can literally just bend the bed slightly and it'll just pop right off the build plate. So I really did like that. It does come with one sheet of painter's tape to cover the whole sheet. Now I did do that after the first print or so. The painter's tape got damaged and it just wasn't printing properly, it wasn't touching the bed at certain areas, so I ended up just peeling that completely off and went back to my old method. You cannot beat a bit of hairspray. If you're printing just PLA like I'm using, hairspray, just spray that down on the bed as it's heating up and that'll hold your things down to the bed. I've never had a problem with hairspray. I had problems with the paint and tape. As soon as I ripped that off and put onto the hairspray, no problems at all. Just had to level it and then it was good to go. So other than that, I really think that this printer is really good. Other than obviously the dodgy wiring and the not so clued up instructions, there's plenty of videos out there on how to make this. At first I was looking at the instructions, if you could tell by the time-lapse video. I was scratching my head a little bit looking at the video and I was like, this is a bit difficult, and it was a video from the guys themselves and it wasn't the best. It's basically, it's been interpreted from Chinese, so it's not going to be that well, you know, instructions for it, not going to be that clever for it. So there's plenty of people who've made videos on building this. But overall, I really rate this machine. It's doing some good prints so far. Let's hope we can print some more bigger stuff. What's up, Bella? Hello, baby girl. Beautiful dog. Rhodesian Ridgeback cross with a German Shepherd. Oh, she's my fat little chunk. Oh, she's beautiful. She's beautiful. Oh. But back to the printer. I'm just trying to think what else I can say about this printer other than that. It's well worth every single penny. I don't know why I keep saying I need to stop saying in all my videos because it does my head in when I'm editing this. I tend to just go, it's too much editing, I can't be bothered. Leave them in there. But no, it's a really good printer and I do like it. It's easy to use once you've got, once you got it all set up. One other issue that I did have with it, on the firmware on the board, when you are preheating your board for your prints and then you select your print to print, sometimes it will come up on the board saying heat failed. I believe that's something either up in there, either the thermistor, but I've been told that it is firmware based and there's a bit of a timeout on it, so I'm not too sure. So you will have to keep an eye on that when you're starting your print, guys. Make sure that your bed's heated up fuller and the print is engaged before you leave your printer, because you don't want to click it to print and then walk away and then it actually doesn't print anything at all because the bed failed to heat up basically. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this. Other than that, printer, well, it's the second printer that I've got. It's definitely bigger than the other one. I found that the A8 was maybe a little bit easier to use on the get-go, but once you get going on this, you're laughing. So yeah, I hope you like this quick review, guys. I've used this printer a little bit now, so I'm trying to give you a more detailed kind of review rather than me just unboxing it in front of you and going, yeah, come and get it, mate, yeah. I don't really want to do that. I want you to have a good product, and when it's a good product, I will explain a little bit more about it, and I'll just say, yeah, do you know what, guys? Overall, you're getting a lot of good stuff with this printer. The fact that you're getting that bed size, the print volume is absolutely massive. Sorry about all that mess down there. But yeah, I hope you like this video, guys. And if you did like this video and you do want to grip one of these printers, I'll leave all the links down in the description as always. And yeah, catch you later, guys.